Hey, what's up? So I wanted to make a video showing people the basics of using OBS to do live streaming. Now, obviously, to start, I want you to download OBS and install it and open it like I have it opened here. From there, I want you to go up here where it says View, and then scroll down to Docs, and then over here, make sure that all of these are clicked: Scenes, Sources, Audio Mixer, Controls, and then Stats. Most of these will be already clicked, but this is the one that I want you to click if it's not there already, Stats. I'll explain why later. But from there, I want you to go down here into Settings and Stream. This is where you connect to your account. If you're gonna stream to Twitch, you can actually connect it just by you click that and then sign in. That makes it a lot easier. I think it even lets you write in the title for the stream in here, and even I think it shows you a chat box. I don't want to do that just because I don't want to type in my password on stream and show the email and stuff. But the same thing with Restream, and Restream is used for streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But if you're going to be using YouTube, this is one of the things you want to start with. So in a internet browser, I want you to open up whatever accounts you're going to be using. Like if you're going to use Twitch, sign in, go to the dashboard. Typically you just click up here, and since I'm already there, it's not showing, but normally it'll say dashboard. You click on that. Restream, you'll automatically be on the dashboard usually once you sign in. And you also want to connect your accounts to Restream if you're going to use that. Same thing with Streamlabs, although that's for something else that I'm actually not going to explain in this video. I also want you to open up testmy.net/upload and a calculator if you're not good at doing a math in your head. I'll get to that in a second. But like I said, if you're streaming to just YouTube, basically what you want to do is click on your channel, because I think that's where it's going to bring you first. Or if you're just on your home page too. But up here, there's a little camera thing. Hit go live, okay? And then here is your stream dashboard. You kind of have to create a stream. Like I already did that right here. But this is what will show up when you do actually... No, that's not what will show up. Damn it. Alright. Never mind. I'll just schedule one. So, okay. So when you hit schedule stream, this is what shows up. And when you hit create new, it'll just be blank. But I'll just reuse the settings here just to make things a little faster. But you can write in a title of the stream. You can write in a description. You can write in the game that you're going to be playing. You can even schedule it and change the thumbnail. And this is for like the kids thing and the age restriction. I would not restrict it to viewers over 18, but I would say that it's not made for kids, like just to be safe. But once you create it, it should show up. Then click on it, and then here's where you finally get your stream key, and just hit copy. By the way, never show the stream key on your stream, because you can actually get, you know, someone can just use it basically. But also down here, stream latency, I want you to click ultra low latency if you plan on streaming at 1080p or below. But here, the next part is where we will find whether you're going to do that or not. So where it says stream key, you just copied it, so you want to just right click and then hit paste, okay? Down here, output. This is important part where people can make mistakes. So that's why I wanted you to pull up testmy.net/upload, is because I want you to test your upload speed. Now, if your upload speed is beyond a certain number, you don't really have to worry too much. But if it's below 10 megabits per second, like mine is 91, so I can even stream at 4K if I want. I'll put in the description like the bitrate limits for each resolution, but if you're streaming at Twitch or both, you have to do 1080p. In which case, let's say your number is 9 megabits per second. To figure out what that is in kilobits per second, because that's what OBS measures your bitrate in, you want to take that number and times it by 1,000. So most people can do that in their head. And then times that by 0.6. This is the maximum bit rate you want to put into OBS. Just so you know. So if you're above 10,000, what you actually want to put in is 6,000. But if you're below, after calculating it, you put that in here. But assuming your internet is good enough, you can the maximum bit rate you can use on Twitch and YouTube for 1080p is 6,000. And the next bit is encoder. Now, I recommend using the hardware encoder, especially if you have a graphics card. But if you don't, or your graphics card isn't good, you want to look down here in the stats. Like I said, you want to actually click that dock so that it'll show up down here. And if your stream is like having issues and it's saying frame missed due to rendering or skipped frames due to encoding, and it's the number on the left. Like mine says 9, that's not a big deal. But if it keeps adding up as you're streaming, that could be an encoder issue, in which case you either want to put it on performance or you might want to switch to the software encoder, which will use your CPU instead of your graphics card. And this is the same deal, kind of. Like there's the higher performance mode is like ultra fast, but then the better quality mode is called slower. It's like, you know, top to bottom. Bad to good, basically. And so audio bitrate, I always put it at 256. I think the actual limit on Twitch is 160, but I put it at 256 anyways. I've never had any issues. But especially with Twitch, if you're going to stream above, like a bitrate above 6,000, like the stream will literally show up black. Like it won't even show the video. You'll hear the audio, but that's why these bitrate limits are important. And like, let's say your connection isn't fast enough. If you set the bitrate too high, then your stream is going to have major issues, like with it dropping out and stuff like that. I don't know if I mentioned, but if you're going to use Twitch, you can actually connect the account, and same thing with Restream. But, okay. I don't know if I said that already. Okay, so the next bit is where you pick your stream resolution. Now, if you ever want to stream above 1080p on YouTube, you do want to put your canvas resolution at 4K right here, because there's only 3 options. But if you're never going to stream above 1080p, you can select 1080p. But I will select 4K because there will be issues that I'll show you, and I'll show you how to fix those just in case. But if your output resolution, you want it to be 1080p, this is where you select it. This is where you select any of the resolutions you want to use. And if you want to use 720p, it's all the way at the bottom of the list. But let's say you're doing 1080p like most people. Down here, where it says common FPS values, you want to select your FPS for the stream. If you're streaming a 30 frames per second game, I mean, you might not know. So, yeah, just pick 59.94. And the reason why I tell you to do that instead of picking just the rounded 60 is because I've had issues when I pick just 60. For whatever reason, an audio delay will build up on the stream. It has something to do with my graphics card, but putting it at 59.94 fixes it, okay? So that's what I almost always do. And then before you exit out of the settings, you hit apply, and then you're good. So this stuff will not be here, just so you know when you first load it up. What you actually have to do is hit this little plus sign down here under scenes to create one. And that is done. Okay, so next you want to go over to sources. Click the plus sign. And if you're streaming PC games, you can either do it by hitting display capture, which will show everything on your computer, just so you know. So be careful with privacy concerns, but it does make it easier to stream, just so you know. Or you can do game capture. You might have to actually select the game once it's loaded. Or you could do window capture, and that's the same deal. And the window capture thing, that also could work if you want to show something on your internet browser or something. Like, you would select it this way. It kind of, yeah, see what I mean? Like, it automatically picked Chrome, luckily, so that's cool. But if it's not showing up, then you can click the window and then select it, and there's some other stuff. But if you want to stream console games and you're using a video capture card, what you want to do is hit the plus, obviously, and then go to video capture device. Now, it should automatically show yours. Like, see how it's showing mine right now? But if you have to, you might have to hit device and select the one you want. And then down here, device default is usually fine, but you might want to put custom just in case, because it shows blank on mine for some reason. But select either 1080p or 4K. Like, you might have to adjust the size. Like, yeah, see how it changes the size when I hit 4K? That's because my canvas resolution is 4K. But if you put your canvas resolution, but you actually want the capture card to be set at 1080p, because at least my capture card, it needs to be in order to do 60 FPS, you select 1080p. And then right here, FPS, match FPS is what you want, because if it doesn't match, you can have all sorts of issues. Now, okay, on my capture card, for some reason right here, audio output mode, I have to use custom audio device right here, and then select the audio device, which is either HDMI or, in my case, AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra. You can do either of those, it'll work. So if you're having no game audio, that could be the problem. You might have to just click, use custom audio device. Okay, but now as you can see, we have a little bit of a problem. It's only showing up in a quarter of the screen because my canvas is 4K and the actual capture card is 1080p. Very easy fix. Just right click on it, go down to transform, and then hit fit to screen. Done. Okay, but let's say while you're streaming, you have a problem. Whether it be the audio's delaying, or the thing might say like no signal or something, or there's just something wrong. One of the good ways to fix that is go down here, right click on it, hit properties, and then right here, buffering. Go to disable, and then re-enable. What that does is it refreshes your capture card source so that any issues you're having, it brings it more up to date. It kind of just fixes a whole host of different problems that you can have while live streaming. So there, that's done. Now over here, audio mixer, your microphone should be showing up already. If it isn't, click down here where it says there's a little gear, and then hit properties, and then here is where you select the actual microphone you want to use. Okay, and also these little things you can slide up and down, or left to right. You can also, it might be horizontal when you fire up OBS, and that's just kind of how you adjust the level. I'll make another video showing some good audio tricks to make mixing the gameplay and the microphone audio even better, even easier to do. But just focusing on the basics right now, and basically all you have to do from here is hit start streaming. Like, in every time you stream, if you're streaming on Twitch, all you'll have to do is update the title. If you're streaming on YouTube, you'll just have to do the whole create stream thing that I just showed you before, to just make a title and get the stream key and all that. But yeah, pretty much that's it. You just hit start streaming, and hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully I showed you some ways to troubleshoot if the stream isn't working too great. But if you followed this process, you should have everything set up pretty well. You just might actually have to keep an eye on this stuff down here, like frames missed and skipped frames, and CPU usage. That could be something you'd want to look at. Like, if it's super high, that could be causing issues. But that has to do with encoder settings, which, like I said, is in here, settings, output, down here. And these are the presets. That's how you control your performance. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.